You ever had someone just decide they're above the rules? Like, one day everything's fine, and the next bam there's a damn fence cutting through your life like it owns the place. Yeah, that's how this all started. Sharon Blackwell, head of our HOA, builds this 8-foot cedar fence overnight, right across my family's only path to Silverpine Lake, a path we'd been using since before color TV. And get this, she smiled when I confronted her. Smiled, like she just won a game we weren't even playing. I'm Dan Murphy, history teacher, single dad, quiet kind of guy, not looking for fights. But when my daughter Emma called me crying from school saying she couldn't get to the lake anymore, man, that hit different. That path wasn't just a strip of grass. It was where I taught her to skip stones, where my dad took me fishing, where I went to clear my head after losing my wife. That path was ours not just by memory, but by damn near every county survey since 1955. So I rushed home, thinking maybe it's a misunderstanding, maybe it's just some temporary thing. But nope, there it was, tall and smug like it knew it didn't belong but dared me to do something about it. I stood there staring at it, trying to figure out if I was losing my mind when I heard that voice. Well, hello, Dan, she said, stepping out like some villain in a pastel tracksuit. Notice the improvement. Her voice had this syrupy sweet tone that always meant trouble. We decided it was time for a little order back here. This area was always sort of ambiguous, anyway. Ambiguous. Lady, we got survey markers older than you. I pointed them out, little metal stakes right where Grandpa put them back in the day. That's our land, Sharon, I told her. You're 3 feet over. She actually laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a confident, you can't touch me kind of laugh. Oh honey, those old things don't matter anymore. We had a new survey done. And as HOA president, I assure you this is for the best. You ever get that feeling, where someone doesn't just cross the line, they draw a new one and dare you to call them out? Yeah, that's where I was. She wasn't just blocking a path. She was rewriting history. My family's history. And she thought I'd just roll over because I was a school teacher with a mortgage and no lawyer on speed dial. But here's the thing, Sharon didn't know I may teach kids about the past, but I've got a pretty good handle on the present too. I kept calm. Didn't yell. Didn't threaten. Just said, we'll see about that. Within 2 days, she showed her hand, hit me with 5 separate HOA violations. Grass too high. Paint too bright. Car parked 2 inches off center. Emma's chalk art, suddenly a visual disruption. It was so petty it was almost funny until I realized she'd done this before. Old Al Thompson, my neighbor 2 doors down, pulled me aside one evening. Said Sharon had run off 3 families before me the same way, violation after violation, legal threats, subtle pressure to sell cheap and disappear. She's not running an HOA, Al said, she's flipping properties in slow motion. So I started digging. Found my grandfather's old documents, and buried in a drawer was a map from 1987 with one hell of a note, public easement confirmed, federal protection applies. I took it to the county record office, and a sweet lady named Janet just about fell out of her chair when she saw it. This isn't just an easement, she said. This is a protected access route under Federal Waterways Code. Blocking it's a crime. That's when everything changed. With that one map, Sharon's fence went from shady to straight up illegal. I filed the report. 2 weeks later, I got the call the county was sending a demolition team under emergency code. That fence was coming down. Now, you'd think Sharon would back off at that point, right? But no. She doubled down. Called an emergency HOA meeting, passed out flyers calling me a threat to property values. Even started a rumor that I was running a meth lab, which I mean, come on, I don't even own a grill. Then came the twist. Her husband, Greg, quiet guy, always polite, knocks on my door one night. Says, "Dan, I'm sorry. I didn't vote for any of this." She's been using our home equity to fund lawsuits and stuff I can't even talk about. I just want out. Turns out Sharon had mortgaged their house to bankroll her HOA crusades. Greg looked like a man one late notice away from breaking. And I started to see this wasn't just about power. It was about control. About fear. And maybe something even darker. When the bulldozer showed up at 6 a.m., Sharon came out in her robe, shouting legal threats like she was casting spells. "I am the HOA president. You can't do this." But they could. And they did. The first panel cracked and fell, and as it did, no joke, a red fox darted out from under it. Turned out she'd built the fence over a protected animal habitat too. That triggered a whole new level of legal drama: environmental violations, fines, maybe even criminal charges. But the final blow. As they cleared the last post, we found a bronze plaque buried under the dirt. Weathered, but still readable, Murphy Family Trail, established 1955, Underground Railroad Memorial Pathway. My knees buckled. That trail wasn't just our path. It was part of something bigger. Turns out, our property was once a stop on the Underground Railroad used to help people escape to freedom. My great-grandfather helped build it. And Sharon. She put a fence on top of it. That made it federal property. And what she did wasn't just illegal, it was a violation of a historical landmark. By noon, there were federal agents in our neighborhood. By sunset, Sharon was off the board, facing charges, and her meltdown, which someone live-streamed, by the way, was all over local news. She tried to spin it, of course. Claimed she was misunderstood, victim of a vendetta, even tried to blame Greg. But no one bought it. Especially not the judge, who sentenced her to a hefty fine, community service, and a mandatory class on historical preservation. No joke. Her house went up for sale 6 weeks later. Greg stayed. Their daughter, Emma's classmate, stayed too. The girls walk that trail now together, no fences, no threats, just peace. Like it always should have been. And me. I turned that path into something bigger. The county gave us a grant to restore it as an educational trail. I still teach history, just with boots on the ground now. Some say this was overkill. That offense wasn't worth all this drama. But ask yourself, where do we draw the line? When someone rewrites history, erases shared space, takes what's not theirs, do we stay quiet, or do we dig deep, find our backbone, and fight back? Because I tell you something, justice might be slow, but when it rolls in, it's louder than a bulldozer. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with a neighborhood power trip? Seen justice finally hit back? Drop your story in the comments, because sometimes the only thing more powerful than the law is people standing together. And I've got a feeling I'm not the only one with a story like this. So where do you draw the line?